Established in 1846, the Queanbeyan Riverside Cemetery is the oldest public burial site in the Canberra region and said to be Australia's 13th most haunted location. Designed to accommodate 4 single-acre sections for the Roman Catholic, Anglican, Methodist, and Presbyterian denominations, its poorly chosen location along a bend in the Queanbeyan River prone to flooding and its close proximity to an active volcano would ultimately see the cemetery closed to new interments in 1985. On several occasions, the cemetery was to be completely submerged underwater due to flooding events dating back to 1852. Over the years, hundreds of bodies have been washed away, most never to be found. Today, several hundred gravestones remained in various stages of disrepair. However, thousands more are buried beyond the fence line. The dead considered unworthy were buried in unmarked graves in unconsecrated ground. These included those of non-Christian heritage, unbaptized babies, murderers, Tuggeranong residents, patients receiving psychiatric care thought to be possessed by the devil, and the 4 credited co-writers of Tamara Jaber's 2005 debut single, Ooh Ah. The worst of the floods to devastate the cemetery occurred in August 1974, some say as God's wrath for the decadent lifestyles of Tuggeranong residents.
Those who will not live by the law shall die by the law.
Around 100 graves washed away in the flood when the bank gave way and caved into the Queanbeyan River. Witnesses at the time reported seeing coffins and bodies floating down the floodwaters. There was even a coffin lid found in the recently filled Lake Burley Griffin. Unverified reports have also claimed that 3 skeletons were later found in the lake. The rescue effort that followed, spanning 9 months, was ultimately able to identify 71 names of the bodies washed away, the rest to forever remain a mystery. Today, a memorial plaque has been erected in their honor. On the night of the 8th of March, 1888, Cornelius Grady, a local farmer, while returning home from work on horseback, was fatally struck by a train while passing through the Lanyon crossing. Both rider and horse were killed instantly. Not noticing, the driver of the train continued unperturbed, and Grady's dead body was dragged all the way to Queanbeyan Station. Fortunately, he was not charged for the trip.
No ticket.
His grave can now be found in Queanbeyan Riverside Cemetery. However, it is rumoured that his coffin lies empty, as there wasn't enough of his body left to bury.
Yes, that's a human ear, all right.
And tales persist that those who chose to wander the now disused train line at night can hear the faint clacking of horse hooves as Grady's ghost, still on horseback, continues his endless march back home. It is the Christian tradition for bodies to be buried with their feet pointing east, so when their spirits rise they can find their way to heaven, guided by the rising sun. However, within Queanbeyan Riverside Cemetery, there lies but one grave mysteriously facing west. That grave belongs to no other than Flora Susanna Blundell, whose ghostly tale was expertly told in an earlier episode of Haunted Canberra. It's unclear why she was buried backwards, but interestingly, if one was to walk due west from a gravesite, they would find themselves at Blundell's cottage, now said to be haunted by Flora's ghost. Perhaps her spirit became lost and disorientated when attempting to make their way to heaven, and now remains forever trapped in Blundell's cottage. These are but some of the many tales of convicts, controversial war heroes, politicians, street mimes, and even Canberra's first convicted murderer, all of whom are buried here. To this day, regular visitors report significant temperature differences while walking through the grounds. Many have produced photos with unusual lights, orbs, and mysterious red circles, while others tell tales of gates swinging open, apparently of their own volition, and there have even been reports of encounters with shadowy figures along the fence line, who disappear on approach. Do you dare take a stroll through this historical cemetery? Perhaps you can make some new friends. The residents are dying to meet you.